Welcome back. The Wildlife Center of Venice is treating a large number of sick birds. They all seem to be suffering from the same thing, a disease common in red tide. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley is joining us now live from Venice with how the center is dealing with this influx. Christopher.
Well, Haley, levels of red tide are extremely low right now, but that does not mean it has gone away completely. At the Wildlife Center of Venice, even when red tide levels are low, they see its terrible effects.
We have around 30 critical birds right now on the porch.
Is that more or less than usual?
It's more than usual because of the red tide. Most of these are picked up off the beach.
On Wednesday, we couldn't find any red tide on Venice beaches, but remnants of it have killed off some fish.
Red tide algae gives off a neurotoxin which can harm birds as well as fish and mammals.
The problem for birds comes when they feast on the dead fish. They can quickly become sick.
They're kind of dull, their eyes are dull, they're very slow in response. Again, they stagger.
Larry Cole with the Wildlife Center of Venice sees these birds often. He told us there is a serious indicator that a bird is sick.
Well, one that doesn't leave, one that walk up to and it just looks at you, you know that something's wrong with it.
Coral asked if you see a bird that seems sick to please contact the Wildlife Center.
We've been seeing a red tide bloom in our area since September. It has persisted since then.
But the numbers are down. The Florida Department of Wildlife runs weekly tests. According to Mote Marine, last week's levels are very low. This week, they seem to be normal for much of the Suncoast. And in Venice, the levels have been non-existent, meaning there's no red tide at all. But the 30 or so birds in critical care at the Wildlife Center apparently didn't get that news. The Wildlife Center of Venice is in desperate need of volunteers to help out with these birds. Now, there could be another algae bloom heading towards us, but no one knows for sure because no one can say with any certainty which way the wind will blow. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Christopher. A statewide ban on minors buying certain over-the-counter cough medicines is one of 3 new Florida laws that will hit the books on January 1st. The law prohibits people under 18 from buying medicines with an ingredient that is found in many medicines, including Robitussin, Alka-Seltzer Plus, and Tylenol Cough. The law was proposed after reports of teens using cough medicine to get cheap highs. A second new law prohibits insurance policies that cover opioid medications from requiring prior authorization for abuse-deterrent versions of the medications. Supporters say the new law will make it easier for people who need painkillers to have access to the medication less likely to cause addiction. But critics argue the law could actually drive up insurance costs. And finally, the third law taking effect in the new year allows financial institutions to designate locations or registered agents where deliveries can be made for documents, including summons and subpoenas. Sarasota is adding 1,000 hotel rooms to the city. That's about a 30% increase. But how much is too much? Some are already asking that question. ABC 7's Ray Collins has a preview of tonight's 7 o'clock show. Ray.
Haley, experts say the rule of thumb is never add more than 5% to overall inventory of hotel rooms. Sarasota adding 30%. There are about a dozen projects right now in various stages of development. The city is going from about 2,000 hotel rooms to about 3,000 hotel rooms. All this has the city manager asking about the M word for the first time, as in moratorium. But not everyone agrees.
I have been thinking about asking the city attorney at what point can we take a pause and look into moratoriums on certain portions of the growth and development that we're experiencing.
I don't think there's any need for any action like a moratorium because the marketplace has already done that. You have a lot of hotel projects that were announced that are already off the books because they're not going to be able to get the financing.
Virginia Haley says when hotels aren't filled, owners look to agencies like Visit Sarasota to bring in more groups and conventions. A close look at this issue tonight at 7. Haley?
Thank you, Ray. And now it's time to head over to John and get a check on our forecast where we're awaiting, John, that cool front.
I know. Everybody's waiting for a little blast of cooler air, and it's coming our way. Unfortunately, as this cold front comes through, it's not going to produce too much rainfall. We could use some. We looked at the coastline. Now let's look in the opposite direction. Lakewood Ranch webcam shows a few fair weather clouds that built in inland areas today, but we really only squeezed out a drop or two of rain well east of the interstate. Now those rain clouds are really just falling apart. A general westerly wind flow continuing across the Sun Coast and well inland as well. That was one of the trigger mechanisms for the showers that we did see around, but I'll tell you, they were few and far between. We are going to end up this month very dry, and our drought indexes are continuing to rise, now in the 500s. That's considered moderately dry for our area at this time of year, and will probably just continue to get drier as there's really no great rainfall in the forecast, except maybe next Monday, we might see a little better chance of some significant rain. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. 76 degrees as we head into the evening should be very nice with that west-northwest wind continuing. And then as we head into the overnight tonight, watch for some patchy fog to develop with some mild temperatures in the low to mid-60s as you wake up tomorrow morning. Back to you, Haley.
Thank you, John. New developments tonight in the death penalty trial of Dylan Roof, who says he won't submit evidence or call any witnesses to try and spare his life. Roof was convicted of killing 9 black Charleston church worshipers earlier this. Now he plans on acting as his own lawyer during the penalty phase of his trial, which begins next Tuesday. Today, the judge told Roof he can change his mind and bring back his attorneys up until opening statements next week. There was also an argument from Roof about mystery evidence, like a photograph prosecutors want to show and video from jailhouse visits, but specifics were not given in court. An Amazon Echo personal assistant device is at the center of a murder investigation in Arkansas. The Echo is marketed as always being on, and that's exactly why police want it. Investigators suspect it may have recorded what happened in the moments before Victor Collins was found drowned in James Bates's hot tub last year. Bates is the main suspect in the murder, but his attorney says turning over the Echo is an invasion of privacy. Bates's father says his son is innocent.
It has felt like I have had to continue to work hard in the arena of proving that something didn't exist. I completely know that he is innocent.
Amazon did hand over Bates's account details, but so far Amazon has declined to give police the voice recordings. Tensions continue to rise between Israel and the Obama administration over a controversial United Nations vote. Secretary of State John Kerry worked to defend the administration just 3 weeks before President-elect Donald Trump takes over. ABC's Kenneth Moten reports from Washington.
The fight against expanding Israeli settlements.
No American administration has done more for Israel's security than Barack Obama.
Secretary of State John Kerry defended the Obama administration's move to allow the approval of a United Nations resolution calling Israeli settlements in the disputed West Bank illegal. Kerry says the settlements, nearly 100,000 built since 2009, jeopardized the two-state solution between Israel and Palestine. But he also condemned Palestinian violence and terrorism.
If Israel goes down the one-state path, it will never have true peace with the rest of the Arab world. And I can say that with certainty.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called Kerry's speech skewed and obsessively focused on settlements.
Israelis do not need to be lectured about the importance of peace by foreign leaders. Israel's hand has been extended in peace to its neighbors from day one.
Netanyahu promised to provide proof to the next president that the U.S. orchestrated the UN vote. President-elect Donald Trump on Twitter, "We cannot continue to let Israel be treated with such total disdain and disrespect. Stay strong, Israel. January 20th is fast approaching."
The incoming administration has signaled that they may take a different path. That is for them to decide.
Kerry pointed out the Obama administration was following a U.S. policy on Israel that's been in place for decades and supported by the international community. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
After a break for the holidays, President-elect Donald Trump is getting back to business as he continues to build his cabinet. Trump has a steady stream of visitors at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, including several healthcare executives. The president-elect also continues his steady stream of tweets. He's sent more than 200 since Election Day, some of the latest taking aim at President Obama and taking credit for the recent good economic news.
In typical Donald Trump fashion, most of what he communicates is done from a visceral place without, I think, a lot of strategic thought in it.
Other Trump tweets were about the recent UN vote against the expansion of Israeli settlements, as we just heard in the previous story. Trump's tweet told Israel to, quote, stand strong. Israel accused the U.S. of orchestrating the UN vote. The U.S. abstained, but Secretary of State John Kerry said the U.S. could not, in good conscience, stop the resolution. The USS Gabriel Giffords is set to sail. The $475 million littoral combat ship is named in honor of the former Arizona congresswoman who was shot in the head and badly wounded in 2011. San Diego will be the ship's home port. It's expected to arrive there sometime next year. It is the 16th naval ship to be named for a woman. And still to come on your Suncoast News, returning unwanted gift cards. The FBI details what to look out for on websites to make sure you aren't getting scammed.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
At what point can we take a pause and look into moratoriums on certain portions of the growth and development that we're experiencing?
New hotels and condos coming to downtown Sarasota. It seems there's construction everywhere you look. But how's the community responding? I'm Haley Wilgus. We'll speak with those for and against the growth.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you. At ABC 7, it's all about being here for you. ABC 7 News at 7 with award-winning investigative journalist Alan Cohn. In-depth reporting and debate on important issues and stories in our community with a featured topic of the day and a live roundtable discussion with community leaders and newsmakers. Plus a quick recap of the day's top stories and weather. ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights. Now more than ever, we're here for you, Suncoast.
It's been an emotional time politically and socially this year.
But during a season when hearts are a little more open to love, we want to talk about good things to believe in.
We believe in teamwork and building trust.
We believe every cloud has a silver lining.
We believe in treating everyone with respect.
We believe in community involvement.
We believe every person has a story.
We hope you believe too.
Happy holidays from ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC 7's Good Morning Suncoast.
3, 2, 1.
We're ringing in the new year with huge savings for you at Bacon's Furniture and Design. Save 30, 50, even 70% off name brand furniture throughout our showroom as we welcome 2017. See the flex steel styles you love like Danvers, Dillon, Mystic, Fleet Street sectionals, and more, all at the guaranteed lowest prices.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Start the new year off with a fresh look in your home from Bacon's Furniture and Design in Sarasota. Nobody beats Bacon's.
Carrie Fisher's death after suffering cardiac arrest sheds light on mental health issues. ABC 7's Alex Redmond has information on bipolar disorder, a condition the actress and author suffered from. Alex.
Thanks, Haley. Bipolar disorder is a mental illness that affects more than 5.5 million people in the United States. And the chemical imbalance doesn't discriminate. It affects men, women, and all races, ethnic groups, and social classes. Most of us cannot imagine living like this.
I had paralyzing depression, anxiety, and panic attacks like crazy. If I was awake, I wanted to die.
58-year-old Johnny Calloway sought medical help.
First, he was diagnosed me as ADD, then ADHD, then PTSD, and then finally he landed on bipolar.
Forensic psychologist Dr. Eddie Renier says bipolar disorder is a chemical imbalance.
The way you know it is that someone who is happy one day, the next day or a week later, depressed and want to die, and then they're happy again, they want to party.
People are often creative and productive, says Dr. Renier, with unending supplies of energy.
And when they get depressed, they get very depressed. If you're average and you get sad, it's okay. If you're flying high like an eagle and you fall to the ground, it's a horrible feeling.
Feelings that can lead to addiction.
One of the quickest way to change that is to pop a pill or take a street drug. A terrible mistake to make.
Lead-ins, aside from my family life, that led me into my addiction was self-medication. First time I got drunk, all the craziness that was going on in my head subsided.
There were no boundaries.
My drug of choice is what I call yours. Whatever you had was fine.
6 years without an episode, Calloway says people can be bipolar and function.
Most people that know me would never guess today that I'm bipolar. But I take my medication and I do my personal work to keep my mind straight.
Calloway was so compelled by the fact that he's living a healthy lifestyle with hope that he's written a book to offer hope to others as well. It's called Dragons to Butterflies.
The root of all my addictions, because I've been addicted to everything, was the addiction to negative thinking. I had to stop that.
Dr. Renier says there is effective treatment for bipolar disorder, including medication management from a medical professional and living a healthy lifestyle.
You can live with bipolar disorder and you can benefit from its advantages, unending energy, happiness. You can benefit from those things.
And if you'd like to catch up with Calloway, he has a couple of book signings coming up in January. One is at Barnes & Noble in Sarasota, and we'll have details at mysuncoast.com. You can just click on health.
And Alex, what's the biggest reason that people with bipolar disorder don't seek help?
Unfortunately, it is stigma. It's the stigma that's attached to the disease. And it is a mental illness. It's a disease like anything else, like cancer, like heart disease. So the more that we talk about it, the more people will feel comfortable talking about it and seeking help, which is so greatly needed. And you can live a good life. Calloway's living proof of that.
Yeah, he definitely is. Writing a book and helping others. That's amazing. Thank you, Alex. Now let's head over to John and get a check on our forecast.
Yeah, nice conditions outside right now. We have a current air temperature of 77 degrees, a dew point value of 65, and a west-northwest wind coming in at about 9. Dew point values at 65 are still high enough, indicating enough moisture in our atmosphere that we may have some fog around again tomorrow morning. Certainly not impossible. I think it'll probably be the last day for the next several days that we have any kind of fog issue, in part because the air is going to dry out and the winds are going to increase, too. Speaking of winds, the latest marine reports have come in, of course, and we're still looking at no toxins in the air, which is a really nice thing. As you just heard in the report earlier in the broadcast, the water level toxins are low, and right now Gasparilla, the only place showing any kind of slight amounts of irritants being reported in the air. So that's good news. Winds will be shifting out of the north with time as we get a frontal boundary move through here, and the breezes will be strong as we head into Friday. Right now, a westerly wind triggered off a few scattered showers in inland areas. Right now in the process of dying out. Don't see much in the way of a rainfall chance tonight. And across the nation, we do have a couple of areas of disturbed weather, one in the west and one taking shape right now in parts of the eastern half of the United States. That's going to be a significant storm, actually, and produce some pretty heavy snowfall totals, especially along the easternmost Great Lakes. There are some advisories up for lake effect snows in parts of New York and some heavy snows in parts of Maine as well, especially the mountainous regions of Maine. The reason for that is some cold air sinking south, indicated by this kind of line of clouds right here, and then a frontal boundary kind of meandering through the deep south, not really moving yet, but it will. An area of low pressure will develop on it. The cold air will sink south, get incorporated with that low. The low will eject off the coastline and then lift north. And as it does so, produce some very strong winds out of Canada, right over the Great Lakes, which haven't frozen over yet. And consequently, we're going to get lake effect snowfall totals pretty close to the 20-inch mark in some locations. Watertown, New York, Buffalo, New York, and then down East Maine, seeing the heaviest of the snowfall, I think. This frontal boundary will be moving through our area as we head into Thursday night, Friday morning. The majority of the dynamics will be located well to the north, meaning we only get kind of a ragged area of scattered showers that move through the state of Florida. The air too dry over Florida to support much more than that. So we'll look for some patchy fog tomorrow morning. We're going to stay on the warm side of average for about 36 hours, and then things change. As high pressure builds in and the front moves through, we get breezy and cool tomorrow night. And Friday morning, it will be significantly colder with morning lows probably about 10 degrees cooler and daytime highs only in the 60s with a breezy wind, making it feel even chillier. Watch the RPM computer model, put it into motion. Here's the developing front. Watch it back to the west. Developing and moving southward. Could be some stronger storms in the deep south, but as that front moves through our area, it kind of just falls apart. Maybe we pick up a few scattered showers Thursday night, Friday morning, but I'd be really surprised if we get much more than a quarter-inch rainfall out of this system as it moves through. Then the sunshine returns and we look for a pretty nice weekend as we really warm back up. Northwest wind at about 5 knots. Boaters, keep advised of this boating forecast on Friday as we may approach advisory levels with the winds on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, the winds shift. We start to warm, and by Sunday, we're above average once again after a very chilly Friday. Back to you, Haley.
Thank you, John. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. There is an accident in Venice. It's on Jacaranda Boulevard at Venice Avenue. Traffic is backed up in that area in the southbound lanes. The FBI is warning people about gift card scams. Over the past few years, a lot of websites have popped up giving consumers a venue to resell their unwanted gift cards. The FBI warns to watch out for social media posts that appear to offer vouchers or gift cards, especially sites that offer deals that are too good to be true, like a free $500 gift card. Some fraudulent offers may be posted as holiday promotions or contests. Those postings often look as if a friend has shared the link, and oftentimes these scams lead to online surveys designed to steal your personal information. Christmas is the season of giving, and January is the month of returns. UPS calls January 5th National Returns Day. That's when UPS expects to deliver 1.3 million packages being sent back to retailers. Surging online sales have been followed by a surge of returns by air, and if UPS is right, it will be the busiest returns day ever. In all, UPS predicts nearly 6 million returns this year, which is a record. So if you didn't like your gifts, you're not alone. Entertainment news is next. I'm Haley Wilgus. Rapid growth in downtown Sarasota. Hotels and condos continue to go up. But how is the community responding to the influx?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
Don't miss the 19th annual Thunder by the Bay Motorcycle Festival, January 5th through the 8th, to benefit Suncoast Charities for Children. This year's festival welcomes special guest Blue Oyster Cult to the premier sports campus at Lakewood Ranch on January 8th at 4 p.m. Admission is free. Festival events include a sporting clay tournament, kickoff party, welcome Thunder event, Cruise for Cash charity motorcycle ride, and a 2-day Rockin' and Ridin' at the Ranch festival featuring vendors, live music, a Taste of Thunder area, and more. VIP tickets are available. For tickets and info, visit thunderbythebay.org.
There's been a run on Carrie Fisher's book since the Star Wars actress died yesterday. Fisher's book, The Princess Diarist, was on top of Amazon's list of best-selling books on Wednesday, just ahead of Zero Sugar Diet. Wishful Drinking, and Postcards from the Edge were also in Amazon's top 10, with Shopaholic ranked as number 57. 5 of the top 10 books on Amazon's Movers and Shakers list, which measures titles that show the greatest upward movement in sales over a 24-hour period, were by Fisher. Cinnabon is apologizing after posting a tribute to the late Carrie Fisher. It reads, "R.I.P. Carrie Fisher, you'll always have the best buns in the galaxy." After an online backlash, Cinnabon removed the tweet. The company also tweeted, "Our deleted tweet was genuinely meant as a tribute, but we shouldn't have posted it. We are truly sorry." Of course, they were talking about her Star Wars attire looking like Cinnabons. Well, 2016 has been a rough year in celebrity deaths, as we know, and one South Carolina man wants to make sure the beloved Betty White isn't next. He started a GoFundMe page to pay for him to stand guard over the 94-year-old Golden Girls actress. He wrote, "If she's okay with it, I will fly to wherever Betty White is and keep her safe until January 1st, 2017. At last check, he's raised more than $1,800 toward his goal of $2,000. No word if Betty White actually wants this man standing guard over her. Well, Scarlett Johansson is box office gold. Forbes magazine has named her the top grossing actor of 2016, with her movies bringing in $1.2 billion at global ticketing booths. Captain America: Civil War was the bulk of that, grossing more than $1.15 billion. The 32-year-old actress narrowly beat out co-stars Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. for the top spot. Johansson also got a boost from the movie Hail Caesar. Not so busy holiday for Broadway so far. Broadway box offices failed to break any records over the Christmas holiday, despite huge hits like Hamilton. Revenues, attendance, and the number of shows all dipped. 32 Broadway shows playing the week ending on Sunday scored $30 million. Last year at Christmas time, the overall take for 37 shows was $36 million. The 3 shows that led the way this year: Hamilton, Wicked, and The Lion King. We'll be right back.